Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life. And wait, Splatoon is 10 years old, Alex. Surely this can't be real. No.
I'm afraid it is. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, technically, if you want to get into like development cycle and stuff like that, it's older than 10.
True, but it's been 10 years since, you got to play it. I never got to play the original Splatoon.
Oh, no. I played it closer to 11 years ago.
Oh, you played it early access, I see.
Yeah. Nintendo were at events and things like that. I was at EGX and they just had it there and I was like, what the hell is this? Why is this a thing? I hate it. And now I love it, you know.
I love how
amazing what it can do.
Splatoon is. It doesn't feel like, to me, it just feels like it's been around for so long. I mean, it's been around in, math. If it was 1.5 years older. Wait, is that? No.
I don't want to hear how old you are, Felix. I don't want to be reminded.
If it was 1.5 years older, it would be half of my lifetime it has been a thing. Welcome back to another episode of Felix makes his co-host feel incredibly old. This time, Alex got so old that he had to go down. Welcome back, Alex. I thought you were gone for good.
Sorry, I just had to go and take my pills, apparently. And take my teeth out. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I thought we could just kind of talk about how crazy it is that it is 10 years old. Talk about like Splatoon. I've had some really, really great memories with it. And I imagine you also, Alex. Some of the earliest stuff you did on this channel was Splatoon.
Oh, yeah. Really early stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff as well. Well, not good, but, you know, cromulent. Acceptable.
At the time.
At the time, yeah, you know, I had fun, you know. I made a little like video where using the ink brush, I put Sonic sound effects on it. That was something I did.
Do you remember the first time that you tried Splatoon? Because I'll talk about my first experience.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, it was at EGX in 2014, and that was the last year that it was at Earl's Court, I believe it was, and then it moved to a different locale. It was, I was there. It was the first year I did anything with Nintendo Life as well. I was just doing like volunteer writing and stuff like that, but they said, hey, we're at EGX, do you want to come and help out? Or something to that effect, I don't know. And I was like, sure. And one of the things they had there was Splatoon. You know, Nintendo UK were there. I met some of the people who I think have now left. But yeah, it was... At the time, it was just overwhelming. As it so often is, these like first time you play a game, you're like, what? I don't get it. You know, sort of like it doesn't quite click, particularly in that sort of high energy environment. You know, it's like you can't sit down and relax and learn it. You've got someone peering over your shoulder going, you can press this button to do this. And I understand why they do that. But it is a sort of a blessing and a curse to have that.
Oh,
and I didn't know what was going on, and it wasn't until I want to say February 2015 that I got to play the game properly, and I got to do single player. They flew me out to Germany to do that.
Oh,
I'd only just started doing videos, and I had a capture card, no laptop, so I couldn't get any capture.
I have a capture card. Can you help me? No. Oh, dang it. Yeah, the first time I tried Splatoon was Splatoon 2. I remember seeing it on the eShop, and I thought, hey, this looks really fun. I've not really, only other shooter games I'd played was PUBG, but I've never really been a shooter type person. Not really been my thing. To anyone, well, I don't know if people know that, but PUBG was very, very big. It was kind of like the predecessor to Fortnite.
It was the Fortnite of the time in more ways than one.
Yeah. So yeah, this just looked really fun. I really liked the concept of that you had to ink as much of the field instead of having to, you know, kill other people, because I always was very bad at that. But inking a field, I can do that. I remember though, I bought it. I was like, hell yeah, I can play this split screen. It's gonna be great. I can play it with my little brother or when I have friends over. I bought the game when I don't know if it was my cousin I had over or something like that. And I booted up the game. And it's like, where's the multiplayer? Like I was completely in shock because I knew this was a multiplayer game. You can't play it split screen. I was so oh no! I just spent all this money.
You can sort of play the first one split screen. I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's not
the
proper
first one.
Mode.
But I was talking about the second one. I didn't have a Wii U.
Oh, of course you were, you whippersnapper.
So the second one, yeah, I remember I was.
Of course
really
you didn't have a Wii U. What am I thinking?
That's not a cool. I could have had a Wii U. I was just my parents like, isn't that just a Wii? It's like, sure.
I
but
don't
the
think your
game's not-
parents were alone in that fact. Fair enough.
I got to try the Wii U one time at a library where I got to play Mario Kart, and I just remember playing Mount Wario, and it was great.
Library.
Yeah, that's where a lot of kids in Denmark got their first gaming experiences, because they would always have a Wii and computers where you could play at. So you would come to the library kind of just to try out the Wii and play Wii Sports and stuff. It was great.
Sorry, no, I think we need to change the topic of this conversation. I want to learn more about Danish libraries.
Yeah, no, so Splatoon, I didn't actually play a lot of the second one. I remember, I played it a little bit, but I was really bummed that I couldn't play it with, and I didn't really have any friends who had a Switch. At that time, the Switch wasn't that big, so I didn't have, still, a lot of my friends don't have a Switch, but that's just because they are Nintendo people, or they have a PlayStation, or playing on computers, and you can't really play Splatoon on those. So, but when Splatoon 3 came around, I had landed this job. It was great, and I had met some friends through you, Alex. We made a Discord server with Paul and Bex. And it was really, really great to just feel that let's hop online and we have a full squad of 4 people. That's what to me is the charm of Splatoon, getting together and just playing some rounds with people. And sure, you might get your ass whipped sometimes, but it's also really nice when you just feel like you just everything just goes right. You're killing people left and right, inking them. It's great. Splatoon is really, really fun. I think I put in 100 hours in Splatoon 3, which I know is peanuts compared to Paul, who has over 1,000 hours in the game. But still, for a game like that, I don't play a lot of online multiplayer games. That was I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's the fact that you mentioned Paul brings me on to my next story as well, because I met Paul through Splatoon, essentially. Back in the day, I thought I'm the kingpin, I'm the maverick, I'm going to do all the Splatoon coverage. I'm going to wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning when the new weapons drop, and I'm going to be the first to get gameplay out there. And I don't even think I was the first to do all that stuff. I'm fairly certain people in Japan were a lot faster than me. But then there was I can't quite remember what it was, but there was one weapon, I believe, where I really needed a second person so I could properly test it out and properly show it off. And I put a thing out on Twitter. Remember Twitter before it became what it is? I put a thing out saying, I know it's asking a lot, but is anyone, maybe in a more reasonable time zone able to, jump in and give me a hand with something at this time? It's this time in these other time zones, I think I stated. And Paul was like, yeah, I'll help. And I was like, great. Where are you? The UK. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. And he used to, and then he would do that semi-regularly, actually. Would help me out when I needed it. And I've never forgotten that. Very, very much appreciated. I wish the videos had been something more substantial. But even so, it meant that, that's how I met him. That's how I met Paul. And we're still friends to this day. And the same with Bex, by extension. I think Paul knew her, and then Paul said, "Hey, do you mind if we get someone else involved?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I think I brought someone else along as well, and we were the 4 amigos for a while. And I've got some really. Yeah, he also Splatoon weirdly got me through my last relationship that broke up. My last breakup was aided by Splatoon, of all things. And that was partly, sort of Paul and Bex and Jazz as well. Sort of them just supporting me and stuff like that. But being able to have that focus, So I've got really fond memories of playing Splatoon 1 especially. I love 2, I love 3, but 1 has got that big sort of it was the first. There was nothing quite like it when it came out. Maybe there was some stuff that had done something similar, but, it was so bold and different and so Nintendo, and yet at the same time, quite un-Nintendo in its, aesthetics, I've often thought. Because, Nintendo's quite sort of safe and round and classic, and Splatoon's kind of, edgy and punk, sort of.
Yeah, the music is crazy in Splatoon. It's just it's Splatoon when you hear it. And funny you talk about Bex and Paul, and I got to meet all of them at your wedding. So it's kind of full circle. It got you through your last relationship, and then they could be there at your wedding of all things. That was really, really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for Splatoon 4. Like, now that we have the mouse mode, I imagine that they're going to take advantage of that, and it's going to look, 120 FPS Splatoon? It's going to be crazy.
It probably will and all. I imagine they'll go for frame rate over anything else. Cause
Yeah, definitely.
What was it that I played that had... I played something that had motion. It was no, it wasn't Breath of the Wild Tears of the King. Oh, I can't remember. I played something recently. It may not have even been Switch 2, but something with gyro aiming at 120 frames a second. It was probably on a completely separate device, but I just tried it for whatever reason, and so the polling rate, or at least the response rate for the screen, is twice as high as 60, and it just feels so much smoother. I can't remember what it was. That's going to really annoy me now, but yeah.
Well, if you remember,
I think
I'll
they'd
put
be
it on
fools.
screen right now.
Yeah, I probably won't. But I think they'd be fools not to take advantage of 120. Sort of, because, it can do it out on the TV, it can do it on the... I've seen it. I've seen it with Metroid Prime. Maybe it was Metroid Prime, I've just realized. I was thinking, what would I have played? What would I have played?
I was going to ask, but I was like, oh no, that's like, you use the mouse mode there, but I forgot that you can just interchange
I did both.
it.
Yeah, you can just the motion aiming, it was just like, oh my god, it's so much more responsive. It's twice as fast at responding, which obviously diminishing returns. It's not like, oh, it does it in half a second instead of a second. Yeah. It's a way smaller amount, but it feels so snappy. And I think, sort of, I mean, I don't know whether they would want to do, whether they would want to focus on 4K 60 or 1080p 120, maybe an option, but I think they'd be fools not to at least try.
Specifically in a game like Splatoon, like response time, even if it is as small as you say, like it's diminishing returns, it can make a big difference. Like, because you have some people who play with motion aiming, and then some people just can't stand it.
You have people who play with motion aiming and people who are wrong.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page. But that does a huge difference. I'm excited to see if they implement mouse mode, if there's going to be the same, like, oh, you can do mouse mode and you're going to have much better results. But a lot of people being like, no, but I'm so used to motion aiming. I'm so like nothing works. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it works. I imagine that it's going to be the selling point that, now we have mouse and 120 FPS and it just looks grand, doesn't it? But yeah, excited to see what the time brings. Excited, no, not excited. I feel like in a moment we'll do a chat like this and it's like, Splatoon is 20 years old and we're just going to feel incredibly old.
Yeah, are you busy tomorrow? We could record it.
But thank you so much, Alex, for coming in and chatting about Splatoon. It was actually really fun. I didn't really know what we were going into. It's like, oh my god, Splatoon is 10 years old. Let's talk about it. So if you enjoyed this video, why don't you ink that subscribe button until it's more than 0.5% your color, and you'll get that epic W.
Woo me.
And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye. Oh, I stole your outro, Alex.